What is up, Success in Life family? Today, I'm trying something a little bit different. I made a post a few weeks ago that said I was going to be switching things up and kind of trying some new stuff to see what gets some people talking and actually get some interest in the group. So today, I'm doing my first video interview with our guest. He is a real estate investor out of Kansas City, Missouri. He has a team of 4 VAs that he works with. He is a coach. He has a group called the Real Estate Wholesalers VIP Club. With over 100 members in it so far. He's a YouTuber. He has almost 2,000 subscribers, and he's lately been posting videos in the group called My First 100 Days of Success. If you have not seen those, you have got to check them out. It's just a few minutes, to get you started on your day and give you a little bit of motivation or an idea of where to get started. Our guest, Justin Chamness. Justin, thanks for joining us, man.
Woo! I'm excited to be here, man. Thanks for having me, John.
Heck yeah. Hey, so let's get started, man. First of all, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, I'm just a regular old guy. I'm 44 years old right now. I've got I'm married, and I've got 3 kids in my life, and from some are mine, some are hers, and we make the mini Brady Bunch over here. So that's me. I'm just a guy. I've had 1,000 jobs. I've done a little bit of everything, so it's hard for me to say, well, I'm background is in engineering or no. I've screwed around most of my life. It's only been about the last 4 years or so that I've started really investing myself in real estate, and have become a real estate investor that actually did stuff, and a coach too. So I live in Kansas City, Missouri. I like long walks on the beach after dinner time. I'm just a normal guy, man.
Heck yeah. Well, hey, so while we're on the topic, why don't you go ahead and tell us about, where you are now, where you started at, and kind of the journey along the way. Just give us a 5-minute brief.
Yeah,
idea.
man, I was, kind of one of those kids coming out of high school that didn't know what he wanted to be or do. And I don't know if that rings a bell with anybody out there that's listening, but, coming up 18 years old, getting out of high school, I remember distinctly the guidance counselor looking at me and saying, hey, what colleges have you applied to? And I'm like, none. And she's like, well, why not? We need to do that right now. We need to get on that. And I was like, okay, but what colleges? I don't know where to go or anything. I don't even know if one would have me. I'm barely getting through high school. And she was like, well, what do you like to do? And I'm like, well, I like to play with my friends, and I just had no real interest in locking in on anything, man. I felt like people around me were saying, I've got these big goals and I've got these big dreams and I'm going to accomplish all these things in my life. And I was just the kid that didn't know where to go or what to do. I had no idea. I mean, yes, I had ambitions. I wanted my life to be, something important and special, but I didn't know where to go or what to do. So I was just kind of like in search. I was a man in search of a vision, I guess you could say, kind of looking for a dream. My dream was to have a dream. And so that's why I say I had 1,000 jobs. I did go to college. I went to college for 2 years. I got a worthless degree. Then I went back to college for another 2 years, and I got another worthless 2-year degree. So now I have 2 2-year degrees. Now, you would think that 2 + 2 is a 4-year degree, but it's not. So I've had 1,000 jobs. I've tried 1,000 careers. And in my mid-30s, I discovered that really my true talents are being a salesperson. That's really what it is. So then it was like, okay, but what do I sell? I don't know what to sell. I've tried selling all kinds of different things, failed at it a lot, succeeded minimal success at some of them. Some of them I was really, really pretty good at.
Right.
But here I am now in my mid-30s, starting over again, had lots of, I don't know if anybody in here ever had the early 30 meltdown, but I certainly did. That's what I'm talking about, is when you lose your wife and your kids and your business and your because you're just now trying to figure out who you are at age 30 or so. I went through all of that. And so in my mid 30s, I determined, hey, I'm a sales guy at heart. That's my true talent. So what can I sell? And I remember a guy saying something to me one time, a long time ago. And I don't even remember who it was, but he said this. He said, if you're going to sell something, sell the most expensive thing you can find. And then he followed it up with this, and that's real estate, because that's the most expensive asset that everybody gets in their life. Right. Is their own home. So sell real estate and you'll be rich. And by the way, sales is the most lucrative job in the whole world, lucrative career. And if you just get into real estate, you'll be fine. Well, man, I tried it and I struggled and struggled and struggled. I sure did, man. Until about 4 years ago, maybe 5 now, I really, really started making some real me changes. And then the business of selling and working in real estate started to work for me. I don't know if that makes sense, or maybe I'm kind of just all over the place a little bit with that story. But
sure, definitely. I was actually going to ask if you could dive a little bit deeper into the me changes you're talking about, because I think that's part of growth and success in itself. Honestly, is you got to work on yourself before you can do anything else.
Well, we all have this inner voice that talks all the time, right? And we think it's us, but it's not. And I'll explain. So this inner dialogue that goes on all the time. See, for me, by the time I was in my mid 30s, it had really taken over my headspace. So my thought life and everything was being controlled by this horrible negative inner dialogue. And I was like, man, my life just keeps deteriorating listening to this negative inner dialogue all the time. How do I change it? I went to the doctor. I got prescriptions for antidepressants and all this kind of shit here. I started taking them, made my head feel like it was full of cotton. I realized right away that I'd rather feel up and then down than nothing at all.
Right.
I was like, this shit here is not the answer. So I threw all those in the trash like the first 2 weeks. And then I was like, okay, I'm just going to have to do something to change my life on my own, because it's deteriorated to the point now where I'm living in my mom and dad's basement and crying and screaming to myself, literally, Justin, who do you have to become to have and do the things you want? That was the big question, because whoever the fuck I am right now, it ain't what I want. This ain't it. Who do I have to become? And so I started soaking myself into some, I hate to say it, inspirational, motivational teaching, Jim Rohn, some old school stuff, Zig Ziglar, things like that. And so I started talking about the dialogue in my mind as I was learning from these courses, not courses, but books and tapes and videos on YouTube and all kinds of shit. Anything I could find, just trying to get what I don't know. What is it I don't know about how to get my mind right? Because man, it's like a fucking hurricane, and I don't know if anybody out there can relate, but, and I'm not here to be a psychologist or anything, but I'm just telling my story. So let me show you something. Let me show you Frank. This is Frank. Okay. Frank is a dead guy, but Frank is how I relate that inner dialogue. Okay. I call it Frank, and this is my visual for Frank. Okay. So it's no longer just me having negative thoughts. Now that's Frank up there being an asshole. So here we have Frank, and Frank's got all the stalls and objections that keep me from my dreams and excuses, and he complains a lot, and he's got lots of fears and questions, and this son of a bitch lies. Okay. I had to take control of Frank.
Right.
Frank is out of fucking line here, man. I got to take care of Frank so that Justin can be well.
Absolutely.
Dude, it took me 2 or 3 years to start really getting a handle on that. And I'll tell you, it's the hardest work of my life. The hardest work of my life is to keep Frank in his fucking place. I don't know. I went overboard, guys.
No, it's a daily struggle. It's something you gotta fight with every single day.
I think maybe everybody has to deal with this. I'm
Right.
not sure, but there is a way to win. Frank will listen to you if you are more persistent than Frank.
Right.
You know, so I had to become more persistent in my thought creation. There was a guy that told me one time, a bird can land on your head, sure, but you don't have to let it build its nest there. And see, by age 35, I had so many birds' nests in my head.
Right.
It was just crazy. So, making small changes along the way to control my mind, to be my own coach, to be my own mom and dad. I know that sounds weird too, but to parent myself. Some people would call that growing up. I don't know what I call it yet. I haven't figured it out. I'm just thankful that I was able to figure it out and implement it into my life, man.
Awesome. Yeah.
What's the next question, bro?
Yeah.
I got to get off this subject, man. I
And
get
no, you're
fired
good.
up.
And no, I 100% feel it. It's a game changer for real. And I'm still working on that myself personally. I'm working on, you get those negative thoughts and they start pushing you down, and then it just gets lower and lower and lower until you're at the point that, like, I've found myself blaming other people that have nothing to do with it, and just create, like you said, creating bullshit and lies and making things up,
Yeah.
and making up excuses for why it's okay too. And that's something I'm working on myself personally, is getting out of my own way and trying to move forward. So definitely I can relate. And I like how you've got a visual too, because it's
Yeah.
almost like a dream board to some degree. When you have your dream board, you've got, everything listed right there that you hope to accomplish and have it one day. And that's the same exact thing, but from a negative
Yeah.
standpoint. What's holding me back, the objections,
Yeah.
the lies I tell
Yeah.
myself, things like that. So I
Yeah.
feel it. I
Yeah.
feel it 100%.
I've had to
Um,
I've had to pull over the car, John. Like I've really literally had to pull driving up the road. Frank is just going to town up here, man.
right,
I've had to pull the car over in a safe place, hazard lights on, reach over, open the passenger door and say, "Frank, get out.
right,
I do not want to listen to this right now, and I'm not going to think this way. I'm not going to plan this way. I'm not going to treat these other people in my mind like this.
right.
Frank, get out." And I know that sounds insane. Like I'm
No, I don't
crazy.
talk to like that.
Yeah.
Right,
It's the only way I know to interrupt him.
right,
You have to interrupt him, right? Because he's
right,
he's nonstop.
right. Stop. And create a path. I feel like the easier and sooner you detect those types of thought processes, and the quicker you jump on it and say, "It's not, I gotta stop thinking like that." Frank, get out.
Yeah.
That's
That's a change of state, like Anthony Robbins talks about. When you listen to study him, he talks about your state. You,
right,
you can be in a peak state or you could be in a depressed state. Okay. Well, or somewhere in between. Well, I think this is, for me at least, this is how I do that.
right,
I mean, Frank wants me to be in this negative state. I don't want to be there. So I have to deal with Frank.
right.
Yeah. So they're gonna send people probably in white lab coats, and they're gonna lock me up in a rubber room after this.
I highly doubt. Oh man. So, I guess next is, you know, give us an idea where you're at now, and where you plan on going from here. You know,
Yeah, I am the happiest I have ever been in my whole life. I'm
right,
45, so I was describing my 30s, my mid 30s, somewhere along 38, 40 years old. I started really, really dialing in on business and making it work. And I think I was coming at it from a different angle, but ultimately I'm happy. Honestly, I can't
right,
think of what would make me happier. I'm just that happy. I've got a good wife. I've got good kids. I've got a nice income. I don't have to work too hard. I've got I'm basically debt free. I mean, I'm just happy, and I just want to continue that. That's all
right,
I'm still again that kid at 18 that doesn't know what he wants to do in a sense. I know what I'm doing and it's working, but I don't have any big, huge, grand goals that I want to accomplish. I want to live to be 84 years old. I'm 44 now. And there's a reason why, because on July 28th of 2061, Halley's Comet comes back. Okay, so I have some bucket list things, but I don't have any like big goals. Like I just want to be free,
Right.
and I am, and I want to keep it that way. Now, sometimes that's a lot of work too, but nevertheless, it's worth it.
Right.
So I'm kind of one of those guys who's not like rags to riches, but maybe like rags to completely happy.
Right.
And so I think I'm a testimony for people who are not even starting at zero but starting off in the hole, you know. And if you just really really work at it and you start to control Frank, then you can really go places and do whatever you want to do, and you can really literally, like they say, literally create the life you want.
Right.
Like life will pay you whatever you demand of it. Okay, that's a big fucking statement. And we probably all heard that. How do we do it? Man, just like I was saying, every day, control Frank and do something that pushes the needle forward in your direction. Changes the
Right.
momentum, and it's little tiny things. One of my favorite sayings is this: what is it that you can do today that will push you a little bit farther towards your goal? We've all heard that question. But then this is my favorite statement too. You know, there's always something you can do, no matter, even if it's a little tiny thing that you've got this big goal, but the little tiny thing is what you can do today.
Right.
Do that. And then tomorrow, do that same thing again. What little thing can I do again? And if you do that every day, your life there's no way that it cannot change for the better.
Right. Like a compound effect.
Yeah. I mean, you may notice initially it starts getting shittier. But that's because your life in your universe fucking needs to upend on some things and rearrange some things to get you now where you're going.
Right.
Okay? Like the GPS recalculates.
Right.
Yeah. And man, I just started this motivational thing, and man, my life is fucking going down the tubes. Yeah, good. It's upending some shit, recalculating the GPS. And when things settle, you'll be on the right path to where you want to be happy.
Right.
Now, so.
And every turn you take from there, the GPS will recalculate and it'll either put you further back or put you further ahead, right?
That's it. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So do you care if I ask you to give us some quick like KPIs for your business and just things that you monitor, things you got going on right now?
Yeah, man. We do about 4 to 6 deals a month. Okay. Sometimes we contract 8, usually 7 or 8, and we'll usually close somewhere between 4 and 6 of them.
Awesome.
And I'm a pretty house wholesaler mostly, so we're doing somewhere near, and like I said, I'm a free man. Okay, so we do somewhere near 450,000 in revenue a year. Okay, so that's I'm not the poster child for the richest real estate investor, nor do I want to be.
Right.
Okay, I like flying under the radar and living real well. To me, I want to be the secret agent, man. You know, I don't know about everybody else, but I like that. So I have a team of 4, so it's just 5 of us total, including myself, and we hit up about 10 to 12,000 scrapes and texts for sale by owners and for rent by owners each month.
Okay.
And out of those, that's how we generate the deals that we get. And so, yeah. So our biggest KPI though is our what I refer to as the beehive. There are A leads. A leads are the people that we're ready to close today, and then there's B leads. Those are people who are kind of on the fence, and we're going to follow up with them. And I believe in order to be successful in this business or any business, probably, it's important to develop a strong beehive, a lot of bees in your beehive, a lot of B leads, because B leads turn into C leads, which are leads you throw away. and sometimes they turn into A leads.
Right.
Okay. So developing and cultivating your beehive, the more bees you have, the more honey you make.
Right. No, absolutely. Sounds sweet.
Yes, it is. I see what you did there, John.
Yeah, you got me. So since we're already kind of on this topic, let me go ahead and ask you, what is your idea or your definition of success?
Yeah, I think just being relatively happy. And
Right.
relatively happy and healthy, I think, is really my definition of success. And you know, if you were to ask somebody that's a baby boomer, like my dad, mom, or something like that, they would probably say, "Oh, you know, success is going to a good college and getting a great job and having a great career and being respected for your knowledge and your expertise and blah 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 blah."
Right.
I've never wanted that. I just want people to leave me the fuck alone, man.
Right. A
You
little bit
know,
of freedom.
I don't want the fucking collectors calling me. I don't want to worry at night about paying the rent. You know, so to me, that's being successful. Just being free and being happy, being able to make my own decisions. You know, like what I hated most about working jobs is I had to ask for time off if, like, let's say my wife needed to go to the doctor, or maybe she got pregnant and we had to do something like that or whatever. Like, oh, Mr. Boss Man, can I please have next Thursday off? My wife is having a baby and I need to go to see the doctor with her. Please.
Right.
If you say no, she's going to be mad. Fuck. What kind of life is that, man?
It sucks.
Yeah, that sucks ass. Okay, so that's getting out of that to me is the definition of success.
Right. Absolutely, 100%. Being able to establish what you want to do when you want to do it, and having fun to do it. I mean, that sounds just like freedom right there.
Absolutely, dude. Absolutely.
It's dream. All right. Well, one last question for you, if you don't mind, because I don't want to take up too much of your time.
Awesome.
If you give anybody a tip or a piece of advice, you know, just from your years of experience and the things you've learned along the way, and you could leave our viewers with just like a little tidbit, what would that be?
I want to refresh what I already said, man. The biggest tidbit I can tell you is learn to distinguish the difference between you and Frank.
Right.
Okay? Because Frank will fuck your life up.
Right.
All right. That's all I got.
All right, awesome. Hey, Justin, it was awesome chatting with you. I'll catch you after this. All right.
All right, John. Thanks, man. We'll see you later. Thank you, everybody, for listening.